Hooday, Bengal fans. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. We are back for round three of the 2025 NFL Draft. My man Ace, Eric, myself, Jake, we are here tonight to get you through this third round Bengals pick that is coming up. Guys, Ace, you were not live with us when the Bengals picked Demetrius Knight. Want to get your take on that pick really quick. What are your thoughts on the Bengals going linebacker and taking Demetrius Knight?
This was my concern about going linebacker. I think the reason why is because the Bengals, I wasn't against linebacker, not thinking that it could be upgraded, but I just felt like there were far too many other positions that needed to be upgraded first and that were priorities. So, guard, obviously, Jackson Kirkland and Cody Ford can't be in the mix for your starting guard. Like, that's just not acceptable whatsoever. And even if you were to move on for Jermaine Pratt, you still have Logan Wilson, John Meta. You didn't need a linebacker per se in the second round. You could have, if you're not getting Abdul Carter, I mean, not Abdul Carter, but if you're not getting Jihad Campbell, you could have waited until the fourth, fifth round to address linebacker. Now you're in a situation where some of the guys like Tate Ratledge are taken, and now you're trusting the Bengals here with possibly the third pick to make the right pick at guard. That's how you get a Cordell Volson. That's how you get some of these guys that they've had before. That's how you get a Zach Carter, because there's a run on three tech and all of these positions happening, and the Bengals have chosen to not only draft a linebacker, they drafted a 25-year-old version of Jermaine Pratt, which they already have. So for me, it's like I get it, but I don't. I don't think the priorities for the Bengals are in the right stand place. And I don't think they're in the right place at all. Because when it comes to Shamar Stewart, I think he has all of the potential in the world. But a lot of people are talking about what he does in the run game. Bengals don't need help in the run game. They need help from a pass rushing standpoint. They need help with sacks. The Bengals don't really need help from a linebacker standpoint, in terms of just a regular linebacker. Like, the thing that made Campbell so good is that he could play safety. You could possibly knock out two needs in one pick. A regular stand-up linebacker, what is the value of that in a passing league right now? Like, you need a three tech way more than you need that. You need a safety way more than you need that. So for me, like, and we were talking about this earlier, the Bengals were 19th against the run, guys. They were not 32. They were not 30. They were not. This isn't the year prior where they struggled against the run. They were last when it came to rushing the passer and giving up explosive plays in the secondary. Where the disconnect is, where they think that they need to put all of this stock into stopping the run instead of stopping the pass, that's what killed them last year. That's where they're bottom five. That's where they gave up the most explosive plays, was in the passing game. And they have yet to address that. And then you talk about on the offensive side of things, they still allowed Joe Burrow to get sacked so many times because of Alex Kappa, because of the bad play in the interior. We've been talking about that since the Super Bowl. And you're talking about I'm gonna ignore that right now for a linebacker. I just don't. It just doesn't make sense. It's like they're out of touch with what their actual weaknesses are.
And a linebacker that was the 84th ranked player that you by all rights you could have still gotten here at 81. You fall in love with the player just like you fell in love with Jackson Carman and you draft him too soon, and then you you know unless I've been going down the theory that they have this handshake deal in place with Brandon Sheriff, and it is okay as long as we don't get a couple guards in the draft, you're going to come to Cincinnati. If that deal is in place, then good on them for doing that. But what they've done is they didn't get one guard in the second when they should have, and now look what the hell is happening to you. You're sitting here staring down possibly Xavier Watts being available at 81. And how the hell do you pass up on Xavier Watts? Because
You
now
won't.
the guards
You
that are
won't.
there are could still be considered reaches. So you're gonna pass on Xavier Watts, a plug and play starter who is Al Golden's guy, to get a guard because you didn't take one when you should have taken one in the second. Man, it's just it's I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate that I love this team so much because they really, really put you through the PTSD. It puts you through that. It's frustrating.
I said something earlier out of frustration. I just care about the Bengals draft. That was stupid of me, and I'll tell you why it's stupid of me. I've been following what the Bills are doing. I'm following what the Ravens are doing. I'm following what the top teams in the AFC are
Chiefs.
doing.
Look what the Chiefs are doing.
Chiefs, because we have to compete against these teams. We have to compete against them. Our weakness is the interior offensive line. Look at the main competition, the teams that we have to battle to potentially play in the playoffs or the AFC championship game. Landon Jackson went to the Bills. TJ Sanders went to the Bills. Mason Graham went to the Browns. The Ravens picked up Malachi Starks and Mike Green. Guys, our weakness is even weaker now because look at these studs, these players that are being, picked up by our main rivals. It is alarming, and you know what? It's just we got to look at the whole picture. Chase, great signing this year. Higgins, great signing. I'm so happy about that. Everything else about this offseason, guys, has been underwhelming. It really has been.
Let me say, guys, and this is not I seriously, this is not a joke. I'm not trying to do I told you so type of thing. I promise you that's not what this is. But the tea leaves, I'm not sure why everybody is shocked about this. I'm shocked that everyone else is shocked. When the tea leaves were out there, I talked about this on our show, Ace, that when you listened to Duke Tobin and you listened to Zach Taylor, all they talked about was Al Golden and this defense. I said that. I said this is not a shock. And I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm not saying the Bengals don't need help at guard. God knows they do. But we shouldn't be shocked by this because all we heard about in those two press conferences were Al Golden, how he's going to rebuild the defense, and how much of a say he's going to have in this draft room.
Jake, I respect that.
See it come to fruition.
Jake, I respect that. I have no problem. If all 6 picks are defense, hey, man, that is good.
Take a 3-tech. Take a 3-tech.
Mike Green's a top 20 player.
Take Xavier Watts when you can get Demetrius Knight in the third.
Demetrius, I don't have a
A
problem.
reach is still a reach.
Knight's going to be a good, he's a talent. Not in the second round. I don't want him at 49.
I'm not saying that, Mon. I want to make sure I'm clear about this. I get that. I'm not saying that. I don't know if you guys watched it. I hadn't really got a chance to watch a lot of it, but Schefter and all those guys came on after Mike Green was picked and said Mike Green was not on 3/4 of NFL teams' boards because of the off the field issues. The Ravens took a shot at him. If he works out, he works out. But I guess the Bengals didn't want it. And I can't blame a team for not taking a guy who has had multiple accusations against him, off the field issues, the same thing over and over. Again, it's one of those situations where if it happens once, fool me if it happens twice. So I'm not saying that Mike Green, I'm not saying anything except for the fact of the Bengals weren't the only team that did not have Mike Green on their board. The Ravens took a shot at him, and so be it. If he works out, he works out. But I'm not upset about Mike Green not being a Bengal. I'm really not. I don't think that was the right pick. I'm not saying Demetrius Knight was the right pick. I'm just saying I'm not – the Mike Green thing doesn't bother me too much because of the situation.
We're about 3 picks. Hey, welcome in, Zim. We've just been crashing out over this.
Then you got to
mainly
bring us back down to earth, man, because we are crashing out, my brother.
We got 3 picks. 3 picks until we're up.
I don't think y'all have seen me on Twitter. I'm not crashing out, but I guess for me it's a crash out because I just feel like they're overthinking it. We're watching for anybody trying to justify like why they didn't take Tate Ratledge or why they didn't take like certain players or whatever, right? Why do you think that the best teams in the NFL did take those same players? You see what I'm saying? It's like we sit around every single year and we're trying to justify, oh yeah, we didn't take this guy because of character issues. And we didn't, and then we're watching all of these teams steamroll us. You know what I mean? Like,
these guys fell though. We're not making this. It's not like these guys were taken early, right? Mike Green fell.
That's my point.
Okay.
That's my point. That's my point. They're falling because the Bengals aren't the worst front office. There's 20 other shitty front office just like ours. And these teams do this every single year, where from a PR standpoint, they're overthinking too many things. And then you're watching these teams like the Ravens every single year. Who leads the league in Pro Bowlers and All Pros? Every single year. It's always the Ravens. And then recently it's been the Eagles, and like the 49ers have been there for a couple of years or whatever. But every single year, it's always the Ravens. I just tweeted out this, and I'm going to tell y'all this straight up. If Joe Burrow had Ravens front office, he would have had 2 additional rings by now. Easily. He has a 5-2 playoff record with far less. The Ravens aren't taking Demetrius Knight in the second round. They're going to look at the board and say, who is the best available player at this spot? And if we don't fix that problem that we left this gaping hole on our roster, we'll come back and we'll fix that later. But we watched them take Kyle Hamilton in our face. The league has done this. We watched Kyle Hamilton. You watched them take Tyler Linderbaum. We watched them take Wiggins last year. We even watched them take Marlon Humphrey. These are all Pro Bowl level players. And every single year, it's always like an excuse is why all these other teams that don't draft well just let it happen. The Chiefs just took the dude Simmons at the end of the first round. He was probably the second best tackle. Whatever reservations that teams have for him, that's cool. Maybe he doesn't play a full season. But from a prospect standpoint, you take the chance because you're getting an opportunity to get the best tackle at that spot. Malachi Starks was the best safety on the board when we were drafting. The Ravens don't care that they already have Kyle Hamilton and they already re-signed our Darius Washington. They don't care about that. They're looking at the board and saying, you idiots, y'all letting us get Malachi Starks? The Lions have a top 3 offensive line. They're looking at the board and saying, you idiots, you guys are going to let us get Tate Ratledge? It's like
bingo,
right there.
Bingo, preach. Speak it. You're right. You're absolutely right. And you just can't make it up. Guys, let's go back to when the season ended, when free agency started in March. These guys were handcuffed. They went all in on Higgins and Chase, and they should have. It was priority 1. But guess what? That's all they cared about. They let all these other offensive linemen just get picked up by other teams. You trying to tell me that the kid that was in Philadelphia last year that signed with the Chargers for 2 years and $20 million, the Bengals couldn't do that for him? They couldn't do a 2-year, $22 million contract back then?
Okay, so we're almost to our pick. I know that everything is kind of behind, but then before you came on, we were asking this. We're sitting in a place where if we don't draft a guard, I'm taking this Cincinnati Fireball out, the Cincinnati Bengals Fireball, and we're going to drop some F-bombs.
Hey,
But we're at a place where Xavier Watts is still here. The other safety is still here. Players that we should be taking in the third are here.
Winston's still here?
Winston's still there.
Okay.
Xavier Watts is still there. The players that you absolutely should be taking with this pick. And now what's going to happen? You're going to go draft a Luke effing Kandra, who's maybe the 120th ranked player because you need a goddamn guard.
I think when – I hope I'm wrong, but when they did the whole Jackson Kirkland photo shoot and they wrote the article where they were like, "Oh, he's a sleeper for being," they really might be high on him, bro. I'm just like, they really might be. If they don't take a guard here, they really might be high on him.
Listen,
I'm is this amazing guy, like, bro.
How come he couldn't make the field last year? He couldn't see the field.
I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if it's not a guard here. Like, honestly, I'm still waiting for a 3-tech, bro. I'm still waiting for one.
Listen, I want.
Bro, did you just know what the Giants did, bro?
Yes,
bro. They have a Monstars up front already with Kayvon Thibodeau and everybody like that, and they still added the one. Oh my God, my bad.
Omar Norman to the Chiefs was nasty, bro.
Listen, I want you guys all to stay on here because if you guys are hoping for a guard right here, it's going to be a serious crash out.
Well, no,
I'm
not hoping for a guard.
I need a 3-tech. I need a safety. I need a guard.
We need 7 picks right here at 81.
I didn't need a linebacker in the second round, bro. That's why it wasn't that I was against Jihad. I was against linebacker that early. Like we needed.
Yeah, we needed guard. We needed Tate Ratledge in the second, so you could take the best player here, Xavier Watts, Demetrius Knight, whoever is here now. You should have taken Tate Ratledge because now you're going to have to reach for a guard, and when you shouldn't, you should take Xavier Watts. You shouldn't be reaching right now for a position of need because you could have taken a position of need in the second.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think that this is a reach. If you could get Marcus Mabo or whatever, Purdue, Miles Frazier, Wyatt Millam, or Dylan Fairchild, that's not a reach to me. That's a good pick.
I'm tired of this character shit, bro. Like this
that
character
would be a
shit.
good pick.
Andy Dalton had great character. Right? Where the hell did that get us? I had a tweet and I was like, I'm done drafting these nice guys. If they got to talk about your character first, you're not a good football player. You're not if that's what they lead with, you're not that great of a football player. And for me right now, the Bengals, they got to take some chances, bro, because at the end of the day, Jalen Carter, like what the Eagles did, that took them to a Super Bowl. Like, so you can draft Devin Steele, and this is no shade to him. I love Devin Steele. I love everything that he did. He's a great character person. But at the end of the day, this is football, man. We got to get football players in here. We got to get guys that are going to make plays. Now, we don't need anybody like Aaron Hernandez. I'm not saying to just take away and do whatever, or Deshaun Watson. But, like, bro, you got to take some of these guys.
Let me ask you this, because we're picking soon, and I'm very much looking forward to this pick. Let me ask you this, Ace.
You got some inside information, Jake?
No, I don't.
Calm over there, my guy. You know something?
Listen, I think this. Ace, you have to understand. For 12 months, I have had to listen to Eric laugh about me crashing out about Mary's Mems. And this part of it has been enjoyable watching Eric on the other end of this.
Because I represent the pulse. All you guys come bitch and complain all year long about our guards being horrible, and I'm here speaking up for the pulse, saying, "Get me some damn guards so that Jake and Mod stop talking about controlling the clock. Get me some guards." And now you don't want guards, so I'm going to stick up for you two because you're off in La La Land saying I need nice shiny defensive toys when you need some dump trucks in the middle of that line to protect for Joe Burrow.
I feel like I complain much more about the defense than I did the guards. Let me say this.
Go back to the text. You'll see it.
Ace, let me
Bengals pick is in. The Bengals pick is in.
Oh, it's in. All right, here we go.
If anybody knows it, go ahead and say it.
No, I don't know it yet, but
where do you see the pick is in? You're not watching the Timberwolves game, I guess.
I think that they have two different. There's two different tiers of guards that are still available, though. If they took a guard right here, they could come back later on and get Kendrick, Joshua Gray, and some of those guys a little bit later. So I do think they have to take guard here. I know that Xavier Watts is good.
This week Bengals will draft Shedeur to back up Joe Burrow.
I wouldn't be surprised, Justin.
If we had 8-9 picks, I would.
Darren Fairchild.
Oh, I was going to hit the breaking news. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Dylan Fairchild, guard, Georgia, is a Cincinnati Bengal.
Oh, a guy that none of us really talked about. Did any of us really talk about him?
We just were talking about him.
Mon actually talked about him. Is this the guy? Mon, is this the center?
No, Jared Wilson's a center.
Oh, that's Jared Wilson.
Yeah.
Fairchild. Where's Justin? Is he in the house?
He's all over the draft boards. But some people had him pretty high. Justin, what do you think?
3.5.
He's a guard.
He's a guard.
He's a guard.
Hold on, y'all. I literally just said it 2 minutes before the pick. I said Fairchild is one of the good picks that will be right there. Like I like that. Yeah. That's the best pick of the damn draft. That's far. It's where
I
the
agree with
actual need met up with the actual board and the crop of talent. Now you could come back the next round and do whatever the hell you want. And then you could come back in the 5th and go get the other guard, or maybe the Bengals have a deal with Sheriff or somebody. But Fairchild, I like. When did Jared? When did the center for Georgia go? When did he go? I didn't see that.
He's still on the board.
I thought he was. I thought that's why I was thinking it was a center.
Wilson is
Miles
available.
Frazier still available?
Yes, Frazier's still
He's
available.
not.
I would have probably
Jared
went
Wilson
Miles Frazier.
is still on the board. Okay, but I still like
That's
Fairchild.
why I thought that's who it was, because Mon had
There we go.
talked about him. I was surprised. Let me then we can talk about the guard pick. I do want to ask you this, Ace. I want to go back to this really quick. Jermaine Pratt, and I know you're a big Jermaine Pratt guy, but and I know that maybe you felt like there were other holes besides linebacker, but we know now that Jermaine Pratt is not part of the plans on this team. If you remove Jermaine Pratt from this team, linebacker is a huge hole. A huge hole. It truly is. I mean, Oren Burks had 6 or 7 good games. That's who you're looking at as replacing Jermaine Pratt. I'm not trying to sell the. I want to make sure
I got you, but I still have Logan Wilson. Like it's different. Like if we don't have the green dot, it's a bigger need for me. I still have my green dot and Logan Wilson. Jermaine Pratt isn't the green dot. He had to play it this year because Logan Wilson was hurt. But for me, like I'm bringing in a second linebacker. I mean, look at what Roquan is doing over there with the Ravens. They don't have this stellar depth at linebacker. They went and drafted a guy last year and they put him in. Now they lost Pat Queen, and Pat Queen honestly didn't really do good for the Steelers, but it wasn't really like this big earth-shattering thing for them. If I didn't have Logan Wilson, sure, it's a enormous need. To me, like you still had Logan Wilson though, and you got John Meta, you got Burks. You could get by with the second linebacker there. You could get by with a second linebacker there. Now, if I didn't have Logan Wilson, sure, I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. But I could have gotten a linebacker in the 4th round or something like that and put him right next to Logan Wilson and been fine because he's not a green dot. I'm not asking him to do all of this stuff on the field and all of that. That's what I'm asking Logan Wilson to do. I'm asking Logan Wilson to drop into coverage and get interceptions and stuff like that. I'm not asking Oren Burks to do that. And that's where I was at with the linebacker thing.
So could we could have had Tate Ratledge and Xavier Watts. Would that not have been better than Fairchild and Knight?
Just got Jermaine Pratt again, just a 25-year-old version of him. Like if you're gonna get a linebacker, get a younger one. To get one that's 22 that you can bring in, like you just got Jermaine Pratt. Like if you were gonna go in a different direction, I'm with y'all. Like Jihad is more athletic and stuff like that. I just went and got another non-athletic Jermaine Pratt type dude that's 25.
I'm just being honest with you. I am not upset about the Knight pick. I'm just not upset about it because he's comparable. He's a comp to him, but he's faster than Jermaine Pratt. I don't know if you saw his film. He between the lines, guys. He is very, very good. And again, it's something. Don't forget, Jermaine Pratt. A lot of missed tackles. And again, I'm not.
But he finished top 10 in made tackles too. We talk about that, but he finished top 10 in the NFL and made tackles. He tied a record for Vontaze Burfict this year for the Bengals. So we can talk about him missing tackles, but he literally just tied Vontaze Burfict as well.
Hey, what did Knight run at the combine?
Huh?
I'm not
What
sure.
did Knight run at the combine?
Didn't he run a 4.59?
I think he ran. I think it was a.
He's not slow. He's not. So
that's not fast for a linebacker. That's not fast for a linebacker.
No,
like linebackers now. Fast linebackers run 4.5. Fast linebackers run 4.4s, bro. They run
4.58. That's what he ran.
They don't run 4.5.
For a
They don't
Mike
run
linebacker?
4.5.
Hold on, Demetrius
Fast
Knight,
linebackers, yes.
relative athletic scores. He's a 9.09 in the 40. His relative athletic score all over is 8.17. His vertical is 3. His broad jump is 6. He's yellow everywhere. He's green in the 40 and green in the shuttle, but even that, his 40 is a 9 and his shuttle is an 8.43. He's not a super athletic. Go ahead, Zim.
Can I say this? I haven't really had my take or whatever on Knight. I don't like where they drafted Knight. Like I'm on Ace where he said he kind of lost me a little bit with some of the stuff he said. I thought it was a little extreme, but like drafting a linebacker in the 3rd or 4th, or I think Knight potentially could have been there in the 3rd is the argument to me. It's not that I don't think that Knight is needed. I agree, and I think Jake, you value linebacker. I know you love Logan Wilson, and you value linebacker a lot higher than a lot of people, and I do too. I just think that Knight could have been there a little bit later. Now, I don't know that. I'm not a GM and whatever. And for the value,
that's my point. That's my point.
I just think that I hate to just use the Ravens, but let's just say the top teams. If they saw that same board, they're not taking Knight right there. And it's only because of the value of the guys that were there that we're not overthinking. And that's my only knock on that pick. The talent of Knight. Remember, Ace, we had the show with the fan Ken, and remember he went on and on. You remember he did the mock when he did the mock draft. He wanted Knight in the 2nd. He drafted Knight in the 2nd, and a lot of people were like, "Whatever." I don't even mind the age as much. I don't even really mind none of that because
I don't mind the age at all.
4 years from now, I don't care. I'm in the Joe Burrow winner. I don't really care about the age. He's athletic enough. He plays very instinctual, whatever. For me, it was the value.
Yeah. And that is a fair point. And let me just throw this out here again. 4.59 for a Mike linebacker is fast.
Devin White ran a 4.42. Devin Bush ran a 4.4. 4.4 is in a different.
It's not fast anymore, Jake.
It's not fast anymore, bro. There are some linebackers that might even run a 4.3.
Here's the thing is it's okay. Like this is all off season long, every freaking mock draft that we do, you guys say take the best player. We want athletes. We want athletes. We took a guy that was ranked 84th at 49, and you're okay with it. I'm okay with them taking a linebacker. I'm okay with Demetrius Knight. I just hate that they took him at 49 because you could have gotten him much later. You could have known that you weren't drafting Tate Ratledge and called the Lions and said, "Hey, you want Tate Ratledge? Give us what you gave," because they traded up to get Tate Ratledge and they gave a couple picks. We squandered it away. We could have had a couple more picks and given it to the Lions because we didn't want Tate Ratledge, and we still would have gotten Demetrius Knight. It's just the strategy.
I'm just gonna ask you guys this because for me, it's not even about guard because I think people are thinking that I wanted a guard in the 2nd round. Who is our 3 tech right now? I'm gonna ask everyone on this panel. Who is our 3 tech right now? Because we've been asking that question since Wallace Gilberry left, and it failed with Zach Carter. It failed with these other guys. Who is our pass rushing 3 tech right now?
I mean, obviously, it's BJ Hill. Maybe if you slide Cam Sample inside, I'm answering your question. I'm not saying it's great.
It's going to be Miles Murphy.
It's going to be Miles Murphy.
I think
they're going to make Miles Murphy eat a bunch of food.
I think
Dan Pincher says on Dylan Fairchild, left guard is absolutely his to win.
Well,
that's the problem. That's the problem right there. It should be his. Whoever we drafted, it should be their position. If they have to go in and win a job, you drafted the wrong damn guy. He should have it straight up.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna throw him some bail right here. Maybe he's being politically correct because when they were probably negotiating with Cody Ford and all of them, they probably promised them like, "Hey, you're gonna compete for this," but it's probably not a competition, bro. I don't. Yeah, that should be his spot, bro.
Well, guys, he has started 24 games, and all of them have been at left guard. So 24 games started, all at left guard.
87 pass blocking grade, 72.8 run blocking grade, true pass blocking sets, 78.6.
Good pick.
Y'all good with him at left guard and because I think guard it might be done now. So do you think
we got to get Scherf?
And Patrick at right guard or no?
No, I'm
Sheriff is
drafting
a right
another
guard.
guard. I'm drafting another guard in the 5th or 6th round. I'm drafting Kandra, one of those dudes like that, and I'm making them compete against Patrick.
Right.
Give me a second? So we've had picks go after us, and I don't think we're going to love them. The Titans took Kevin Winston Jr. right after us. The Steelers took Caleb Johnson. I think Mon had
Oh
a
my
draft
God,
crush on
bro.
him a little bit. The Buccaneers take Jacob Parrish, and then the Chiefs trade up and take Noel Williams, cornerback out of California.
He was a good player.
And before we go, so let's go right to this. We got a super chat about it. We got 2 super chats. We're talking about Kandra. Andrew puts a super chat out there earlier. Are we all in to take him in the 6th? Is that kind of somewhere we have to go?
Andrew, you know ball. Andrew knows ball. Who's that guy? I swear I never saw that when I just said Kandra. We coming back 5th and the 6th. Joshua Gray. There's plenty of guys that can compete for like the guard position. That's the beauty of guard. That's why the sweet spot of guard is always between rounds 2 and 5. That's the beauty of why you have the ability to move from traditional just pure guards, not the tackle converts, and they're available, and those guys can compete, and that's better than where Burrows had. And having them compete against them, or even if they brought a Risner or Sure, had them compete and having those bodies right there is depth, and it's also a competitive atmosphere to go and heighten the room.
That's cool. They haven't had a better guard since Kevin Zeitler left.
I just sent you guys the Fairchild Brugler's analysis of Fairchild. Gives him good reviews. He says he's an ascending player. Yeah. So Fairchild, he gave him a 3rd or 4th round grade.
Well, I do like this too, because you were talking about that pass blocking grade. I don't know if you saw this, Zim, but that 89.2 pass blocking grade, he's had it since 2023, which is first among all guards in college football.
He's only allowed 1 sack in 787 pass block reps in 2 seasons.
So, I mean, again, this is a guy. This is a guy that obviously is going to be the starter right away.
He's compared to Wyatt Teller. Compare him to Wyatt Teller, which is
easily,
good.
Bro.
Who is that, Mon? Mon, say it again.
They compare him to Wyatt Teller, which is an All-Pro with the Browns.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good comp. I like that.
And he made the freak list, bench press 440 pounds, and he was an All-American wrestler.
Just think about this real quick, though, Jake. I want to ask you a question.
That's why we drafted him.
If you had an opportunity to go get Tate Ratledge in the 2nd, then come back and get Fairchild, and now we're never talking about offensive line ever again, would you do it?
I said, listen, Zim, I said before we picked in the 2nd, I wanted it to be Ratledge or Watts. I said that before we picked. So, yes, I would do it. I would take Ratledge and Fairchild would be it would be nice to me. I will say this again. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It sounded like some teams were a little nervous about Tate Ratledge's injury.
Absolutely.
And I think maybe that is why, again.
But remember when I came in hot on the show, think about it. The good teams, the best rosters, the most Pro Bowlers, they don't overthink that. And the Lions took Ratledge, and I don't think that that's a coincidence. I just don't. I think when the Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs at the beginning and they took him at pick 11, people said, what the hell are they doing? Now look at it. It's a foregone conclusion. When they took the tight end, people say you can't take the tight end that early. Same thing. And this thing keeps on happening where teams overthink it. The Bengals had an opportunity in that 2nd round to make the offensive line a point of strength. Now you might say, I don't like this prospect, I don't like that. But now think about it. Guys like Volson probably don't even make the team if you get Ratledge and Fairchild. You could probably still even come back and holler at Risner or Sheriff or something like that. Regardless, it doesn't matter. But now Lucas Patrick's of the world, they're fighting to be on the bench. And that's how good teams go and get the depth up. And then to Ace's point about like getting a linebacker in the 4th, that's where it's not because I want to draft the linebacker in the 4th. It's because I have an opportunity to give Burrow the best offensive line he's ever had. And then when I come back in the 4th, You mean to tell me we can't have nobody that's comparable? No, like there's like the kid Mondon Jr. from Georgia, the linebacker I like. There's other linebackers that are really good. Are they starting worthy? Are they as good as Knight? We'll find out. But that will be the bigger argument to me. Is like now I'm in a position where Knight is now immediately kind of thrust into like a starting role as a rookie, hard transition period guy. And I mean, I guess him being older, maybe that works in his favor. I don't know. I think he's going to be fine. I don't know.
Listen, I think this is my point about the linebacker situation. And I'm not saying that I'm happy with the Knight pick or any of that stuff. I like it. I'm not saying it was the right move. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. God forbid your green dot goes down, Ace. The Bengals have no one at linebacker. They have nobody. Jermaine Pratt is not going to be in stripes. He is done. That's a foregone conclusion.
Jake, what I would say, Jake, is linebacker, the position that it is now, it is the running back of the defense. You can find a linebacker anywhere. You can find an undrafted linebacker. You can find one in the 5th round, 6th round, and you can throw them in there, and they'll do their thing.
They keep 5 linebackers. They keep 5 linebackers on the roster.
They do. That's my point. Yeah.
I mean, because it's. I don't know. Listen, I don't.
I think Mon, do you think that they're communicating with us with that pick though? Like what Ace is saying is, yeah, you can get a linebacker anyway. You can get a UDFA, but we already got that on the roster, right? We got Burks, we got Meta, and we got Shaka Hayward, right? Yeah. So to me, do you think that signals that maybe they're down on those guys, or you feel like
They must be. I think in a weird way, he's trying to recreate, because remember, he had a big say in drafting Pratt and Wilson. He was on the roster then. He was on the coaching staff then. And you know what? He wants to recreate that defense from the Super Bowl. The linebackers played such a big part. I don't know. Listen, you said it. Everybody in this group has said it. Each of us has said it. We could have gotten him in the 3rd round. I really think so. Okay, and I know I disagree with you. The age thing does affect me. He's going to be 26 when the season ends. 26 years old. And I mean, that I want to draft a player that's going to get at least another contract or 2 contracts. The guy's going to be 30 when he's negotiating his contract extension.
That's nasty.
Think about that.
Bengals don't like 30.
He's older than Jamar Chase.
But one thing I was more mature than what you're going to find. He's got kids, and I know I'm not making a joke about that. You're looking at a leader. I mean, I think this is a mature leader. Listen, he is.
He's got childcare.
He can already buy a beer. He's good.
And I do want to say this. I think that Demetrius Knight pick.
He's got 2 of them.
Does not speak. He's got 2 of them. Listen, that Knight pick does not speak very highly of the Bengals linebacking room after Logan Wilson. I agree with you on that.
I think somebody said it. Just real quick, Zam. I think somebody said it. I was trying to figure out where the beef with Golden and Pratt stemmed from, and I think it was one of you guys that brought it up, or somebody may have brought it up in playback. The year that they went to the Super Bowl, remember Golden reduced Pratt snaps in the passing game. Remember, it was his contract year, and he was like, I need to be on the field when the plays it's money on the floor. And so I think that's where it kind of stems from. They don't have a good relationship from back then. And of course, Jermaine Pratt is all the way on the bad side of the Bengals for last year.
Hey, and everybody that's in the chat, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you cut on alerts. Also, make sure send this link out to other people, because a lot of people don't know that we're live on here right now. Also, I'm counting on everybody in the chat, since Eric is really locked in on here. I need everyone to keep us updated on Anthony Edwards. If he dunks on LeBron, or if he dunks on anybody, or any of them, I might step up to the paint. If there's a replay that I need to see on Ant doing some dirty work, it will make my night a little bit better. Speaking of night, it'll make my night a little bit better if we could get some Ant Edwards highlights and we put one of these posers on a poster. How about that?
You'll see me freak out over here, Zim. I still got it on. Speaking of in the chat, we got a couple super chats we need to get to before we forget. Rose sent a super chat. Congrats to all the rookies, but I'm so disappointed in the strategy. No negative shit. I just don't get it. I think that's what we're saying. We've been screaming best player available, don't reach. And some of these feel like a reach. And another one from Ro here. Bengals bungled, bro. Free agency in the draft. We shouldn't be drafting guards. Instead of coming to the draft with no O-line holes. And we said that a lot. You know, we could have had Scherf out there and we'd only been looking for one guard. And here we are not knowing really where we're standing with that. And it's frustrating.
Hey guys, let them know what highlight just happened. The one with LeBron James blocking Anthony Edwards and then hitting him with the FU3 on the next drive.
Listen, all I gotta say is LeBron went crazy last game, and the Lakers went crazy last game, and they scored one more point than they scored in the previous game. So it takes a heroic effort by the Lakers to score 95 points, and it takes a horrible effort by the Timberwolves to score 85. So yeah, we'll see at the end of the game.
Hey, let me read this real quick. This is good stuff right here. Dylan Fairchild immediately was called by his ex-teammate Amarius Mims. Hell yeah. We just got off the phone. I think I love that. I love that Mims and Fairchild are now reunited on the Bengals. I think that's good stuff.
The camaraderie. I love it.
This is in news too. Shedeur Sanders got a prank phone call from thinking he was drafted. That was disgusting.
That's just sick. I like, come on. Like, I get that people hate that he talked himself up so much, and maybe his dad talked him up so much, and that people just hate that. But he's still a talented kid, and don't pull that shit. Come on. We got one more super chat out here from Sean.
Miller's gone.
The Jags. Mon, your guard just went to the Jags.
Who's that?
Putting Bronny in. What?
Wilson?
Milam.
They're not putting Bronny in.
Well, they definitely like Fairchild better. Brugler had him ranked higher than Millam anyway.
Did the Steelers pass?
Fairchild's my favorite pick of the draft so far. I thought the value met up with the need.
Did the Steelers pass on Shedeur or no?
And many times they keep passing on him.
I'm with Mon. Like, I don't want anybody to have to experience what's going on right now. And I'm not, but I will say this. These rookies that are coming out, they need to learn from Mr. Sanders that these NFL teams don't want to hear how good you are. They don't want to hear all this hype stuff. They just want you to come and be a professional and work. And I think Mr. Sanders has put himself in this situation. I feel bad about it, but hopefully the future rookies are going to learn from his mistake, because you cannot. These are professional. These are organizations, multi-million-dollar organizations, that are not going to put their stake and claim on someone who talks a talk and doesn't always walk the walk.
I will say
I'm not gonna lie though. Go ahead, Zim. Go ahead.
Stylistically, I think, Jake, you were kind of cooking, but this is the part where I deviate from that point.
I was kind of cooking.
You were kind of cooking. The stove.
You were air frying.
Yeah, it was air frying. It wasn't crispy enough on the wings for me. The reason why is only because of this. You could come in with the chains on, you could talk that talk, you could walk the walk, but you got to put the work in. And what I think that he did was, first of all, he got bad information, and somehow I think he thought he was like Trevor Lawrence or something like that. And for whatever reason, just like when we go to a job or when we're applying for a job, you have to go through the process. He skipped on the Senior Bowl. He didn't do any of the workout stuff, the combine stuff or whatever. So he put himself into a bad spot. So when can you network? When can you talk to these teams? When can they really find out about you? He never really gave them that many chances. And then the pro day was just like, yeah, like I'm here, man. I'm doing my thing, and I don't think he's worth them passing on it. But the NFL also systematically sent a signal out to him and sent a message out to everybody and said, yeah, if you don't play our way and go through our combine and go through our system, then we probably won't even look at you. And the only people that can get away from that are people of if Joe Burrow's talent level at quarterback, and it just showed like if his comp is Andy Dalton, imagine Andy Dalton didn't go to like a pro day or a combine or something like that. He might be a 5th, 6th round quarterback, and that it looks like that's what Shedeur's headed to because nobody ever really got a chance to meet him.
I was just gonna say Cam Ward was a little loud, my boy. Cam Ward. I saw Cam Ward talking trash to Shedeur at some of those workouts
but
and
the
stuff like that.
the talent was there.
The talent is there. Yeah, the talent's there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Andy is Iron Man. Iron Man's right. Andy is catching a lot of strays tonight.
Good, Justin.
The one thing I think that Sanders, you can get away with some stuff. You can get away with talking a lot of trash and being sort of flashy. The thing about being a quarterback, though, is teams look for something a little different there. And
yes.
I mean, you want your quarterback to be a leader. You want your quarterback to be, to lead from the front. You don't want your quarterback to be, you don't want, like when you're researching quarterbacks, you don't want to find out that, hey, this guy's a good quarterback, but he loves to party. Like that's the reason Dan Marino tumbled in 1983 because there was all sorts of rumors about him and drug use at the University of Pittsburgh and a rough senior season he had. Dan Marino should not have been the 5th, 6th quarterback taken in that draft. He definitely didn't play that way, but because there were the rumors that he was a big partier, he tumbled. And I think that when you're quarterback, you got to handle yourself a little differently. And if you don't, you better be that good. And that's the problem Sanders is running into right now.
That's a good point. That's 100% right on. Hey, real quick, guys. Fairchild was asked on protecting Joe Burrow. Fairchild's response, one sentence: "It's the biggest honor of my life."
I love it.
Hey, let me ask
I'm
you
back
guys
on
this.
the train. Woo!
Let me throw a wild card in there. If Cam Scatterbo is there in round 4, and you're the Bengals, do you take him?
Eric. Ask Eric.
I mean, it depends who else is there. I love Scatterbo, but if Xavier Watts is still there, I haven't even taken a shot yet. No, I want the best player on the board. If Scatterbo's there, I'm going to take him. But if there's someone that's ranked a lot higher, a safety, another guard, I've been on board of fixing the interior offensive line and getting the best players out there.
Hey, if the Bengals can get Wilson in the 4th, Jared Wilson in the 4th, the center from Georgia, buddy, our interior offensive line is set for years.
I'm gonna tell you,
push Karras out to guard.
I'll take Miles Frazier. See, that's what I'm saying. Like they have an opportunity to go and rectify, and make this work. So if they come back and get the other guard, then everything that I've said about the value of the linebacker Knight, it's null and void. It doesn't really matter. But if we get to the next round, and these guys that like me and mine, our picks are gone, it's not to say that we know more than everybody, but now the pick of the litter is now based off of potential. It's based off of more variability. And for Joe Burrow, 5 years later, that just sounds stupid to me.
So
my goodness.
Let's talk about this right now. How big for you guys, for all of you answer this. We've talked a lot about the safety position tonight. Is safety still a priority? I mean, Watts, Winston, there's going to be some safeties possibly there in the 4th round. Is that a direction that you would be happy with if the Bengals went? Because again, we're looking right now at
absolutely
the first 2. There's not much there.
And I'm gonna tell you, Ace's prime. I think you got Jonas Sanker is a guy that's up on prime, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nelson just mentioned him. Yeah.
I think Shedeur might be getting picked here because he just tweeted out, "Thank you God for everything." So maybe he's about to get picked.
Who's on the clock? Raiders
drafting?
Shedeur? I don't know. I don't know who's on the clock.
Seattle. Seattle just picked, and Saints are on the clock. But they took
Saints. He wanted to go to the Saints early on.
No, they already took.
But the Saints took a quarterback. They took Tyler Shaw, I think. Right?
Yeah. Well, we saw the Redskins back when the Redskins double dip with Kirk Cousins and RG3. It's happened before.
It
might be the Saints. It's got to be the Saints because remember, Dion wanted him to be a Saint anyway.
Jake, I want to say who was talking about the safety situation real quick. Here's what concerns me about safety. Jordan Battle and Stone, I like Battle, but they're not very athletic. And I mean, I can understand having one safety that's mid, just average athlete, but not both. And I would love for them to still consider safety. The quarterback from Alabama? Yeah. Seahawks took Milroe from Alabama.
Okay. Is it possible that the Bengals can draft LeBron James? Is that possible?
Oh my God, Ace!
I mean,
is it possible?
You're not allowed to flop in the NFL very much, so I guess probably not.
I mean, he's got 20 right now, and he's 40. And
why would the Bengals want the third best basketball?
We might need him to play edge rusher, man. After we trade Trey, we might need LeBron to come off the edge.
Hey, Ace, why would the Bengals draft the third best basketball player in NBA history?
Oh my God, that's nasty.
Well, he would bring the refs with him. He's got the refs on his side, so we kind of have a little bit like they got with the Chiefs. So you get that.
If I didn't know any better, I would think that the Lakers were up like big or something. The way that
I know they're up 3 points.
It was a nice.
These cocky Laker fans are crazy, bro.
Y'all were up by 10 at one point, and then it just kind of disappeared real quick.
We were also down by 24 in the last game and got back to within 9. So just wait till the end of the game here. All right, hey,
we act like
the matchup.
We got some super chats. You want to talk those real quick before we start wrapping this up?
Watching a hockey game. Sorry.
All right, so
he's just saving himself.
Hey, real quick, Andrew. Thanks for the super chat. Andrew Dunk says Watts in the 4th, Martinez in the 5th, Kendra in the 6th. Done deal. I'm gonna be honest with you, Dunk. I like it. I'm a big fan of all three. I like it. What do you guys think?
Why is Watts falling? Maybe Ace or Zim could chime in. Why is Watts falling? Would he be there in the 4th?
I think I said this. I think it was yesterday.
Sanker's off the board.
Everybody assumes that because this person was your college coach, that they're going to draft you. And I still think back to Pete Carroll when he became the coach of the Seahawks, and Taylor Mays was there, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to take Taylor Mays because that's his guy." And he took Earl Thomas. I brought up the example yesterday where it was like the Ravens when they got Mike McDonald. Everybody was like, "Oh, they're going to draft Dax Hill." They draft Kyle Hamilton. Just because this guy was your coach in college does not mean that he's going to draft you in the NFL.
You said Sanker is off the board?
Went to the Saints.
Sanker just went. Oh my God!
But Sanker goes ahead of Watts. Why is the rest of the NFL not seeing Watts like he was mocked?
There's got to be something with him, bro. It's got to be something with him.
We did miss a super chat from Sean. He asked about Buchanan, the linebacker from Cal still being there. Would that have been a viable option for you guys instead of Knight?
I mean, Knight's on the team for me, bro.
I just didn't like linebacker that early, man. The only linebacker I wanted to take in a second was Carson Swessinger. Yep. I understand. It reminded me of Billy Price situation all over again. They pretty much the Browns went in Frank Ragnalled us, and then we came back. And that's a bad example, but instead of pivoting to the best available, they said, "Oh, we got to get a linebacker right now. We got to get a linebacker right now." And I think they could have waited.
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of his point. You could have probably still gotten him a lot later instead of reaching for him then. Fuzzy Balls has another one. Thanks, Fuzzy. RJ Mickens, S. Clemson will be a steal for whoever gets him. Son of Ray Mickens, understands offense, great nose for the ball. Anybody want to chime in on that?
Well, I mocked him. He was in my mock. So, yeah, he's a good athlete, very productive at Clemson. That'd be a great 4th-round pick. If not, if they go safety him, Watts, or the Texas safety. Or I think Ransom's still on the board too out of Ohio State.
You know what? I think in the fourth, double dip with guard, center, and just let's quit talking about it for a few years.
Yeah, but we drafted Volson in the fourth. The Bengals could. It doesn't mean they're going to get a solid starter. Fourth round picks aren't always solid starters. We're not plug and play here. This is fourth round. I think at this point you might be better to go free agency. So I don't know how much longer we want to stay on here. We got a very intense basketball game we got to get to. But who outside of guard? Who are the big guys? We've got 2 picks. We got 3 picks tomorrow. Unless we somehow now we're in the point where we have to trade next year's picks to get extras here. Who's everybody really wanting them to take in the next 3 rounds? Vaughn, you want to go first?
Okay, you know what? I don't know if he's been picked, but he's a bigger defensive tackle. He's 6'1", 340. He's not a 3 technique, but we need bigger bodies. We need I would love to have from Oregon, Cardell is his name. I mocked him in my final mock, 6'1", 340. I just want to reinforce the trenches, guys. I want another guard. I want another defensive tackle. I just, I'm sick and tired of this team getting pushed around the AFC North. Our teams just, we're the least physical team in the AFC North. We are when it comes to the trenches. We got the best skill players, but when it comes to the big ugly guys, I think we're 4th in the AFC North.
What about you, Ace?
Yeah, I'm still looking for my 3 tech, man. I don't know if I'm going to get the quality 3 tech that can push to be the guy. Maybe it's now you're kind of in did Joshua Farmer get drafted yet?
So let me give you the guys that are still there for defense tackle.
He's good.
Joshua Farmer, Ty Robinson, JJ Pegoose, Deion Walker, Tonka Hemingway, Aeneas Peebles, Ty Hamilton, Cam Jackson.
Aeneas is cool. I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, honestly, if it came down to those guys or someone like Xavier Watts, I'm obviously taking Xavier Watts instead. Miles Frazier is a guy that I'd still be looking at this point. Farmer, I talked about. Charles Grant, if he's still out there, would be another guy. I don't know if this is like Zim kind of alluded to earlier. Maybe this is when you start to look at running back, DJ Giddens, Scatterbo. Like you got some options there as well. So I think they can still come away with some really good picks here. Kyle Kernard, if you're looking for a later edge rusher to take, I think he's another guy that you could take a flyer on, maybe late round, bring some more competition in there. Then you got Elijah Roberts, who also like from SMU. So you still got some options there that you could potentially get.
I like damn near every. I didn't know some of those guys you said, but like Miles Frazier for me, Charles Grant for me, the kid Mickens. I think the safety, he's still around, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Mickens is a late guy.
I like Jaden Blue. He might go undrafted. It looks like, but he's one of the most dynamic runners in the whole draft. But he does have like some fumbling or ball control issues, I think. Ollie Gordon's still there. The running back from Rutgers, Kyle Monagay, or whatever his name is. There's a whole bunch of dudes. LaQuint Allen, the running back from Syracuse. There's a ton of running backs. I think the Bengals should be prime opportunity for a lot of UDFAs because they're going to look at that depth chart and say, there's opportunity for me to like flourish there. Like all I got to do is beat out a Samaje Perine. Like Zach Moss still isn't even back. So like, there's a lot of running backs that I think that they'll let go. I think D tackle, honestly, remember what we were saying yesterday, and we were going through it's 13 guys, right? Or I'm sorry, like 12 guys. I think they might be done with D tackle.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that they might say that we're going to get McKinley Jackson out of the role that he was in. He has a real good first step, and we're going to use him, and then we're going to also get more pressure. Remember, BJ Hill was getting pressures a lot in 2023. They're going to say that, and then they're going to bank on Chris Jenkins. And I think that that's their plan. They're not going to have a crazy 3-set. I don't think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to dip back into that water, bro.
Yeah. Here's real quick. I don't know if you guys already talked about it. I'm sorry, but PFF. I'm just looking at our picks. Their big board and how it matched up to our board. Shamar Stewart was 31 on their big board. We got him at 17. Now, Jake, you're going to be happy about this. Demetrius Knight was 52 on the PFF big board. We got him at 49. Here's the one that concerns me. I know it's PFF. Everybody has their own thing. They have Fairchild at 140 on their big board. We got him at 81, but I'm still happy with the pick. Don't get me wrong. Fairchild is my favorite pick right now because, I mean, he's – again, I was reading Brugler's comments. His best football's ahead of him.
Guys, Dylan Gabriel just went to the Cleveland Browns.
Whoa.
Dylan Gabriel, quarterback from Oregon, just went to the Cleveland
Over Shedeur?
Yup.
That's nasty.
The same team that paid Deshaun Watson a Brinks truck?
That's nasty work.
They are doing
What the
Shedeur
hell?
dirty.
I don't know, man. I mean, what the hell? Justin Tucker is still on a team, and look what he did.
Well, for
Justin
Jesus.
Tucker's still on the team.
What the hell?
Justin Tucker, where'd that come from? I don't, man. We got
Because what should do?
we can talk about. I don't want to talk about Justin Tucker.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. This kid just went out there and was a little arrogant, and you're gonna just blacklist him from the NFL? That's ridiculous.
We need Justin Tucker on the team now. He's missing field goals. We need him to stay in Baltimore. He's missing now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's not very loose anymore, so he's gonna miss those field goals. There's a super chat here from Andrew. Some people were saying that Shedeur does have another year of eligibility. I don't think he would want to go back to school.
I mean, what is he
he
going
might
to
be
do? Play for the Argonauts?
might be his best position might be now UFA and pick who he wants to play for.
Oh!
Crazy. Hey,
he could.
That Browns quarterback room looks pretty damn good, guys. It's nasty. I'm saying this because I figure Mon's gonna say this soon. I love you, Mon.
Listen,
Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun Watson.
That's disgusting.
Joe Flacco. You forgot Joe Flacco.
they're going to run the ball 50 times. They're going to run the ball 50 times.
Outside of the Judkins pick or whatever, can I say, though, I think that this is the first time in my whole entire life that I've seen a competent Browns team that actually acknowledges that they're in a rebuild. Like, this is the first time that their front office understands that they can't just go buy everybody. Like, they're planning. They got 2 firsts for next year. Like, I don't know. Dylan Gabriel is garbage, though.
Another super chat saying Sanders should go back to Colorado. Thank you for that super chat.
Wait. Has the Alabama kid gotten drafted? Milroe?
Milroe.
Yes.
He went to the Seahawks?
Yeah.
That's 4 quarterbacks before Shedeur.
Damn.
I do feel bad for him, man.
Well, Quinn Ewers is still out there too, and Will Howard. I wouldn't be surprised if they go before him.
He's at a point now. He's not going to have an opportunity to like start or anything. Like no coach is going to latch their wagon, so to speak, to that. And now they're not obligated to. The pick is so late. Who cares? Like. He could be a lifelong backup. Somebody get injured, and his only opportunity would be those couple of games that they give him an opportunity to come play in those games. That's how the NFL works.
Yeah. So the way this is going, he might end up on the Eagles as a backup to Jalen Hurts, and we see how that went for Jalen Hurts. That's how he got his start, backing up Wentz.
Hey.
So much for the Bengals acquiring more picks. It looks like we're going to stick with 6.
Yeah, I know, right? That's all we heard about, Mon, was how the Bengals. By the way, Mon, the important sports game that's going on right now, the Reds just took the lead in the top of the seventh, 7-6 over the Rockies.
Let's go, Reds.
I'm watching hockey.
Last time I wore Reds hat, they lost, so I'm gonna try not to
I
wear.
appreciate you not. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, we're about to unveil the Reds polls. I think that's going live here within a couple weeks.
Two picks after Dylan Gabriel were Jared Wilson to the Patriots and Xavier Watts to the Falcons.
Shit.
95.
Xavier Watts is gone to the Falcons.
He's with Jesse Bates.
Right next to Jesse Bates. Look, they drafted Jesse
Jared
Bates'
Wilson
replacement.
By who?
Wow. So much for that.
Well, so much for that. That's what I was just about to talk about, was who I wanted for the next pick. So yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Well, we could have had him. We could have had him twice. We could have had him 3 times. We said we don't want you.
I feel the same way about that position as you guys feel about some of these other ones. I just don't see how the Bengals go into this season with Geno Stone and Battle as a 2 starting. And again, I like Battle a lot, but I just don't get that. I don't get how you're comfortable with those 2 guys, a Tyson Anderson that's never gotten on the field because he can't stay healthy. We all know what happened to DeJohn Anthony when he was on the field. I don't understand the Bengals' thought process and the lack of importance after Jesse Bates basically carries us through the playoffs in 21. I don't understand the thought process of how that is not an important position. Makes no sense.
Ace.
Yeah, you know what that was about.
That was some lockdown deep. Anthony Edwards just provided some lockdown defense.
Zimmy told me that Anthony Edwards can lock Luka up, and I just saw him get 3-balled in
I'm
the
sorry.
face on an
Anthony
ISO.
Edwards locked Luka up, and Luka just threw up a trash shot that went in. That's what Luka does.
3-ball.
Hey,
Eric, 14 points
Eric just put a super chat out there about Jack Sawyer. What do you guys think about Jack Sawyer if he's still there in the 4th round?
No, thank you.
Nope.
No, thanks. I got said Johnson at home. I got don't need him. I don't need him. I'm telling you, I'm the D line. I bet you. I think the Bengals. I mean, they might bring a guy in like 7th round or something like that. I think they're done. No, I think like they need to go get this other guard to go battle Lucas Patrick and battle Volson or whatever like that. Fairchild's probably gonna be your starter, and then you're gonna have a battle in your hands on the other side. And then,
you're good. You're good with Geno Stone and Jordan Battle right now as the 2 starting safeties.
I'm not good. I mean, I'm looking at safety coming up. I'm trying to get a safety in the guard the next 2 rounds.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said okay. I thought you said you just focus on guard. By the way,
well, in the next 2, I mean, I got 3 more picks, right?
You got 3 more.
3 picks.
Yeah. So my next 2 picks will be safety, guard, or if a running back I really really like is there.
Yeah. The only position you can double dip on is guard. Edge is out. I think that's what Zim's saying.
You know, a sneaky is a tight end that we don't have with receiving ability. Like a blocking tight end with, like that, Sample is.
I agree.
Like what Eric All could have been.
We don't have that at all. And the crazy thing is our last pick or the pick before, I think our last pick, Arroyo, and then you saw like a little run on tight ends too around that time.
By the way, Zim, our guy, Ellie De La Cruz, up with bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Pitching change right now, so we'll see.
Let's slam. Let's go, Grand Salami. Let's go, Salami.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I think these next 3 picks are. I would be happy with a safety, another guard. And I think you got to go running back one of those picks too. Safety, guard, running back. I'll be happy. Les said Mon is getting sleepy on us.
The Bengals have lulled us all to sleep.
I'm old. I'm watching hockey and baseball at the same time, listening to you guys, which I like better actually.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in the draft coverage.
I am. I'm still.
I'm not even watching the all-time great Anthony Edwards here versus the second all-time great Luca and the 21st all-time great LeBron, according to Jake.
21st.
I said third.
Who do you have second, Jake? I gotta hear this.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, okay. Oh, you good with me, my brother? We got the same top three. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Jake.
got Jordan, Kobe, Luca, or Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
Not Luka,
yeah,
LeBron. Yeah.
Jake, LeBron is the most accomplished, not just basketball player.
Zim.
He's the most accomplished athlete of our time. What are we doing? What are we doing, Jake?
Zim, no. Ellie, Ellie flies out. Ellie flew out, so no hits there.
Anthony Edwards over Jason Tatum easily.
Anthony Edwards is on pace. Anthony Edwards has more three-pointers at his age than Steph Curry had at 25. Anthony Edwards is on pace to break Steph Curry's three-point record whenever Steph leaves.
He asked me, Jason Tatum
who
or
said
Anthony
that they would
Edwards?
take Tatum over Edwards?
No, he didn't say he would. He just said Tatum or Edwards, and I was like,
But then you just say Tatum over Edwards?
No, I said I'm taking Ant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What?
No, sir.
Tatum is Jalen Hurts. He's just playing on a super team.
We've gotten to the point in our draft coverage that the Bengals have so far disenfranchised us that we are
Talking
jumping
about
off
NBA,
to talk NBA basketball.
I feel like we've talked about the draft. We've already kind of talked about the plan for tomorrow, the targets for tomorrow. We got the Reds going. We got some basketball going.
Can we talk about this? Can we not for me when I wake up tomorrow have 154?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 200. Yeah,
no, that's the only reason we don't start our own group chat is just because it's gonna piss you off. So that's why
we're gonna get Ryder in the group chat so he can talk basketball over this.
That's funny.
Guys, I'm signing out. I'm tired. We'll chat tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll try to get some kind of reaction tomorrow at the end of the draft or something like that. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button. We appreciate you. Oh, we got one right here from Fuzzy. There will be quite a few quality running backs to fill out the needs of the RB room in the 6th round. Next 2 picks have to be a guard and a quality defender. Sounds like a plan.
That's the plan. That sounds like the game plan. Can I say also too, if you all are used to watching the Bengals Pulse, me and Ace do a show called the Wincinnati. Check that show out, or vice versa. Make sure that you cut on alerts because sometimes our scheduling is a little different on some of these days. So it's very important if you're watching this right now, cut on alerts. Make sure you send a link to somebody, DM it to somebody, text it to somebody. Let them know that we're coming back on here tomorrow. Also, we're always going to have the best guests. We're always going to have the best coverage on the Bengals. This is what we do all the time. There is not another pod that has the guest list that we've had this whole draft period. If you missed it, we had Tony Pauline. We had Joe Goodberry. We had John Sheeran. We had, we had everybody that you could probably think about to get into this draft period, and it's really good and really dope if you want to take the time to go check out some of those shows because they dropped a lot of nuggets on some of the players that we actually drafted, some of the names that you're seeing. They mentioned some of those guys, and then we actually talked about some of the plan, and it's really cool to kind of watch it all kind of play out too. We even did a fan series where a guy named Ken came on, and he actually did a mock of Knight Jr. 2nd round. He took a little bit of heat in the comment section, but for a rookie fan that we gave the opportunity to come on the show and do a mock, he absolutely hit. And I bet you nobody else in the Bengals world did that same thing, and he absolutely hit on that pick. So he wouldn't have did that had he not been watching Wincinnati. So shout out to him.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you guys.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, we look forward to jumping back on here tomorrow again. There's no one else covering the draft like the Wincinnati Podcast Network. And again, Ace, Zim, we appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, like my man Zim said, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. Make sure you check out our guys Ace and Zim over on the Wincinnati podcast. And as always, guys, make sure you check us out right here on the Bengals Pulse. Ace, thanks, my man. Eric, I'm Jake, Mon, Zim, Houday Bengal fans. We will see you again tomorrow.